Welcome back to Chapter 2 of our series, From Burnout to Sustainable High Performance. In today's episode, titled The Myth of More, Why Working Harder Isn't the Solution, we'll explore why that relentless pursuit of doing more can actually hold us back instead of propelling us forward. So, let's dive in. You're working late. Again. The to-do list is longer, your focus is worse, and yet you keep telling yourself, I just need to push harder. Here's the twist. Research shows that past a certain point, adding more hours can quietly start subtracting from your results. A strange thing happens when, I'll just do a bit more, becomes your default move. Your entire day quietly reorganizes around urgency instead of impact. You start treating your calendar like a suitcase. If there's empty space, you feel compelled to stuff something else in. Meetings that should be 20 minutes swell to 45. Emails you could ignore become mini essays. Minor tasks sneak onto center stage, while the work that actually moves your career forward keeps getting pushed to when I finally have time. This is the myth of more in action, the belief that adding effort automatically adds value. But notice what's missing from that equation: intention. The most sustainable high performers aren't the ones who tolerate the most pressure. They're the ones who are ruthlessly selective about what deserves their full effort in the first place. In this episode, we'll zoom in on how more quietly hijacks your choices and what to do instead. The trouble is, more doesn't just fill your calendar, it rewires your default settings. Your brain starts tagging any empty slot as wasted, so you auto-accept meetings, say yes to quick favors, and keep Slack open like a nervous system. You stop asking, should this exist at all? And only ask, where can I squeeze this in? Over time, that pulls you into a reactive stance, constantly responding, rarely directing. It's like running every app on your laptop at once. Nothing crashes dramatically, but everything slows, updates take forever, and the work that truly matters never gets the full processing power it needs. Think about what more actually looks like in a typical day. It rarely shows up as a dramatic decision like, I'll work 80 hours this week. It sneaks in as micro-choices that feel harmless in the moment. You see a notification and quickly check it between tasks. Someone pings, got a minute? And you say yes before you've even read the full message. A meeting invite appears with 10 people on it, and you click accept because declining feels political. None of these choices seem like a big deal, but each one slices your attention into thinner strips. Here's where the research gets uncomfortable. Your brain doesn't just track how much you work, it tracks how fragmented your work is. Constant context switching costs you time, but it also fools you into feeling strangely productive. You're touching a lot of things, so it must mean you're moving a lot of things forward, right? Yet when you zoom out at the end of the week, the needle on what truly matters hasn't moved nearly as far as your exhaustion suggests it should. At an organizational level, the myth of more shows up as cultures that glorify responsiveness, fast replies, always-on chat, back-to-back video calls. Leaders say they value deep thinking, but reward instant answers. Systems get built for visibility instead of effectiveness. More status updates, more dashboards, more check-ins. People learn that the safest career move isn't to do the most meaningful work, it's to be the most visibly busy. Notice who benefits from this setup. It rarely produces better strategy, cleaner code, or more thoughtful design. What it does produce is an endless stream of activity that's easy to measure and hard to question. If everyone is at capacity, no one has to confront whether the work itself is well chosen. This is where working smarter stops being a motivational poster and becomes something sharper, a willingness to disrupt the default. To question whether you're solving the right problems instead of just solving visible ones. To design your workday so that important decisions and creative work aren't squeezed into the margins, but given protected, high-quality time, while the noise gets automated, delegated, batched, or simply dropped. You don't have to overhaul your entire job to start. You do have to get honest about one thing. Which parts of your workload exist because they're genuinely valuable, and which exist because no one has paused long enough to say, why are we still doing this? This was Owl Up, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow.